Streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and blasttheradio.com, this is The Lowell Green Show. The number to call and be heard around the world is 613-413-2217. Or email Lowell at blasttheradio.com. And now, here is Lowell Green.
Good, John. And before we start the program, I want to assure you I have not lost my mind.
Good to know.
No, I just want to preface the program with assuring people that my mind is still functioning.
Okay.
So I have a question. Keeping that in mind, I have this question. What do you think of Trudeau's plan to install menstrual products in men's washrooms? Let me repeat the question. I assure you, my mind is fine. It is not April 1st. Again, what do you think of Trudeau's plan to have menstrual products placed in every men's washroom in all federally regulated workplaces, which would include all government offices, airports, radio, TV stations, etc., etc.? If you think I'm joking, I am not.
You said, just to underscore and highlight and make sure we got this right, men's washrooms.
In a 10,000 plus word report authored by 4 government departments, the Trudeau government has concluded, quote, a lack of access to menstrual products in men's washrooms has raised concerns regarding washroom equity, unquote. In addition to menstrual products, each men's washroom must also have disposal containers in every toilet stall. Cost of all of this to you, $116.6 million. In adopting this plan, the Trudeau government claims that the proposed regulations will, quote, improve sanitation, build a more inclusive Canada, address systemic inequities, make workers more productive, increase workplace safety, improve employees' physical and psychological health, reduce discrimination against 2SIGBTQI plus communities, positively impact Indigenous workers, disproportionately benefit the poor, reduce gender-based discrimination, and increase fairness and equity, unquote. Apparently, it will not cure appendicitis. The story has been exposed by none other than the Financial Post. In case you think this is just fake news, it is not fake news. The plan to install menstrual products in all men's washrooms in government and other federally regulated washrooms is well documented, including the cost of more than $116 million. The installation is to begin next year. The government cost is estimated by the government to be $116.6 million, which means it'll probably be double that. But what the cost will be for private business offices has not been factored in as yet. Installing menstrual products in every washroom will be very costly. Having a dispenser in every bathroom stall will undoubtedly cost private business millions more. So what do you think, folks? This is the government you elected. Good idea? $116 million of your tax dollars to place menstrual products in men's washrooms, keeping in mind that within slingshot distance of Parliament Hill, where these government departments made this document, wrote this document, men are sleeping on the streets. And in case some of you think that this is not fake news, folks. It's a major story in the Financial Post. Financial Post doesn't fool around. Matthew Law, the reporter that uncovered this story. It's well documented. It's a 10,000 page document authored by four, not one, two, three, but four government departments. On top of everything else, can you imagine the government workers involved in drafting this thing, coming up with this? They, I, I don't know what, I mean, I don't know what to say. The government claims that its regulations will, quote, improve sanitation, build a more inclusive Canada, address systemic inequities, make workers more productive, increase workplace safety, improve employees' physical and psychological health, reduce discrimination against 2SIGBTQI plus communities, positively impact Indigenous workers, disproportionately benefit the poor, reduce gender based discrimination, and increase fairness and equality. Unquote. Who can argue with that? Like, maybe my question should be this. Has this government gone mad? Should we administer a rabies test to all government employees involved with this? What's gone on in Trudeau's mind here? This is wokeness to an obscene degree, in my opinion. But I could be wrong. Some of you undoubtedly out there approve sanitary products and disposal facilities in all men's washrooms, and you don't mind paying for it. I'd love to hear some rationale behind that, but leave it up to you, folks. John, you were telling me that it gives you the idea that you did what on this?
I mean, I hear that, and I think, okay, this sounds like a bad comedy skit that I wrote back in my days in drama class. I mean, it's so far gone.
Yeah,
look, I'm all for inclusivity. Pardon me, but Lowell, can I ask you a personal question?
Sure.
When's the last time you had your period?
Well, it's been some time, let me assure you.
Me too. I mean, it's just.
But this is.
Where do you even begin to pick this apart? 4 government departments participated in authoring this?
Yeah, 10,000 word plus document. Can you imagine? I mean, this has probably involved hundreds of government employees for countless hours to draft this.
This is what they did while working from home.
Yeah.
This is what they concluded.
Well, the rest of us or many of us, trying to keep food on the table, lost our jobs, lost income, closed our businesses, couldn't see anybody for 2 years, et cetera, et cetera. We had dozens, if not hundreds, of government workers drafting a 10,000 word document justifying installing sanitary products in men's washrooms. Not only, but now here's another question. My wife and I had quite a discussion on this before coming on the air. It took me about 10 minutes to convince her that I was not just joking.
Well, I'm still wondering if.
No, it's not. There's a major story in the Financial Post. It's not April the 1st. And some other news outlets apparently are picking this up finally. But it begs another question. Now, and my wife assures me that many of these products come in different sizes for different stages of the menstrual period. Will they have to include, large, medium, small, giant? I don't know. And then, of course, will be the question: will they be tampons or
pads?
Pads.
Yep.
Will they have to have how many dispensaries will they have to have in each washroom? Because you can be sure that, if they're going to install this, somebody is going to say, wait a minute, That's not my size. So you've got to have my size. I take an extra large size, or whatever the hell it is. $116 million. Don't forget, this will be added to the debt. I mean, we already have a debt well in excess of $1 trillion.
Well, it sure as hell ain't coming out of our surplus. We don't have, yeah.
John, I mean, like, can I ask you this? You're a pretty level-headed guy.
Thank you. I like to think so.
Is this the work of rational people?
No.
Do we have 4 government departments with totally irrational employees, or are they just following the company line here?
Do we know which 4 departments? Is that
Yes, we do.
Please.
Yes, we do. I don't know if I can find it or not. Yes, we are. Yes, I have it here.
Okay.
Government estimates of full cost of regulations, $116 million from 2024 to 33. Clearly, no, I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's in the article though, so we can go and we can do a deep dive, and we can start talking to our friends who work in those various departments as to.
Oh, here we are. I got it.
All right.
And a 10,000 plus word report authored by 4 government departments: Employment and Social Development, Indigenous Services, Natural Resources, and Transport.
Natural Resources.
And Transport. The Trudeau government has concluded, quote, a lack of access to menstrual products in men's toilet rooms has raised concerns regarding washroom equity, unquote. There she is.
All right, listen, the comments are coming in fast and furious. Enough of you and I back and forth about this. Let's just go to the listener, the viewer. Here's how to, please, you got to call us on this one, folks. 613-413-2217 is the number. You can text as well. Yeah, right. April Fool's, Lowell, says this person, not getting me on that. No one is that stupid. Oh, wait, Trudeau. Now I'm a believer. Damn idiot. Drag him to the 3rd floor, this person says. Ruth says, what? I can't believe it. I think the Prime Minister has tampons up his you-know-what. Coraline, I don't think we should be supplying menstrual products for anybody, anywhere. Lynn says, what a waste of money. Kathy is on Facebook. It's called the woke movement. Men can get pregnant.
Yeah, that's essentially what it is. This is wokeness to the extreme. Virtue signaling. This is the Trudeau government signaling to us how virtuous it is. They are so virtuous that they're going to have total, absolute, utter equity in washrooms. They're going to have free tampons, pads, not only in women's washrooms, but in men's washrooms as well. Well, what can I say more? Go ahead, John.
The only way this makes sense is if we remove the male and female signs off bathroom doors and make them gender neutral.
Well, but in response to that, and particularly in some government offices, there are gender neutral washrooms.
And in that case, this makes sense.
But we're talking men's washrooms, not just in all government offices, but in all federally regulated buildings, which, as I say, would include radio and television.
Yep.
Airports.
Yep.
Any federally regulated operations have got to have, not only there would be considerable expense in installing dispensers, but having to have disposal facilities, not just in every washroom, but in every stall. I mean, this is a huge expense. The government says the cost will be $116 million. This is for government offices. I suspect it'll be at least double that, and probably triple. But the private industry's got to pay for its own. Go ahead, John, please.
Eric says, I wonder what friend of his owns Johnson & Johnson. Anne says, I cannot believe the woke crap that comes out of this stupid Trudeau government. Just another thing to add to the pile. Policies like this take money away from people who really need it. You have to wonder if Trudeau is actually paying out of his own pocket, if he would want to pay for these kinds of stupid gestures. Easy to spend money when it's from taxpayers. How many men, even if they are trans, would be getting a period? Well, that's my point. None.
But the next thing is, Is anybody going to care about this? I am absolutely shocked at the lack of public concern over the $6,000 a night hotel room that
Yeah.
Trudeau stayed in.
Yep.
I posted something on Facebook today. I got very little response. Like, people don't care. I mean, I guess most people say, "Oh well, $6,000 a night. It's no big deal." And apparently, a lot of the media is saying the same. So I suspect that the reaction is probably going to be about the same. Menstrual products and oh well, So, but folks, this is 100. It may seem like a drop of water on an ocean, but it's $116 million of your tax dollars. This money, surely to God, this money could be better spent someplace else.
Well, on the list of priorities, how far down that list would menstrual products in men's washrooms actually be? If we're being honest, if we're being real. Holy
It's
moly.
it's like it doesn't seem rational. And yet, four government departments, on top of the 116 million to install this stuff, are all of the hours spent drafting up a 10,000-page document to
Yeah.
justify it in four government departments. I mean, for months we couldn't get a passport. Chaos in the airports. There wasn't enough people to whatever the hell it was. But we had dozens, if not hundreds, of government workers scurrying around drafting documents about sanitary products in men's washrooms. It's like it just makes you wonder. Like, is this Alice in one? Have I fallen down a rabbit hole here? I'm late for a very important date. Go ahead, John, please.
Let's go to YouTube. Hound Doggy, I believe you are new. Perhaps the commissionaires in federal buildings could simply welcome everyone with a care package containing feminine products and condoms.
Well, that'll be next.
Richard says, how many consultants did we need to also pay for to have the brick written? Okay. Joshua says, another example of Trudeau catering to his fanatical base and not doing what is actually best or what matters for his country.
Very true.
Go to email Lowell@blasttheradio.com. Lisa says, I guess if a guy's significant other needs a product, saves him the trip to the pharmacy. Maybe there are guys with a fetish that he's accommodating for. Who knows?
I would like some women to respond to this question. Is it not true that if they're going to have dispensaries, that they're going to have to dispense different sizes? And as I say, a tampon or a pad. So will one dispensary do it? Will that do the job? I mean, if we're talking about equity, it would seem to me that there's got to be, if we want to be so equitable, we're going to put this in men's. Surely to God that everybody then has got to be serviced, which means all different sizes, different kinds, maybe different brands. I don't know. Where does it end? Go ahead, please, John.
Ruth chimes in via text. Again, the number here is 613-413-2217. If men want to have menstrual cycles, then they should get organized just like women have to and prepare yourself for 40 years of cramps and torture. Thanks, Ruth. Jake says, some of us are having trouble putting food on the effing table. Let's go to Anne. I cannot believe the woke crap that comes out of this stupid Trudeau government. Just another thing to add to the pile. We did that already. All washrooms are non-gender now, even though I don't agree.
No, not all washrooms are. That's not true. Simply not true.
No, certainly not.
I mean, you can the airports, for example, they have men's and women's. Certainly in the at CFRA and television, there are men's and women. There may be
there. Yep.
There may be some gender neutral somewhere in government offices, but that's simply not true. I don't know why people make stuff up like that. They're trying to justify, I guess, what's happening here. I don't know how anybody, including liberals and NDP, could justify this. I don't understand, you folks, how you can justify spending $116 million on this when there are people who are lined up at the food banks. I don't understand whether you love Trudeau or not. I don't understand how you, in good conscience, can support this. Just beats the bejabbers out of me. Now, I got to take a moment here to calm down. Talk about some people who are very rational. And I refer, of course, to my good friends up there in Pakenham, Shield Furniture and Appliances. Folks, If you're in the market for new plants of any kind, please at least please consider Shields. They're very competitive priced. They're in stock. 90% anything you will, it would be in stock, which means it can be in your home probably within a week, if not less. No long delays. You're dealing with a local dealership. The money stays local. If at least give them a chance. Give them a chance. Compare and see. That's all I've ever asked, folks. If you can find a much better price someplace else, I don't blame you. But if the prices are very comparable, the service is better, it's local, why would you not? And of course, the same holds true with other local businesses. The big box stores are going to do fine no matter what, okay? Let's support local if we can. And in the case of appliances, with Shields, you sure as hell can. John, what's next here?
All right, you asked a specific question for women, and we're starting to get responses to that. This person chimes in to say one size is good enough in an emergency situation.
Okay.
But in this person's opinion, pads are actually the way to go, the preferred way. And says we need more liberals listening to the show, and maybe, just maybe, we can turn a few. Elvin says 100 million could fix water issues on some First Nation reserves, but virtual signaling points are a first priority.
You know, that's very true. I wonder how much water, fresh water, could be supplied on reserves with $116 million. Even if it would only repair one, it would seem to me to be a higher priority than menstrual products for men's. Could be wrong. Go ahead.
Lisa asks, why can't they fix our roads and provide more affordable housing? Corey says, what are people doing in the bathrooms? You're there for one reason only. Toilet paper and soap is the only thing that should be supplied. Well,
my wife tells me
no.
that, but excuse me, my wife tells me that a number of washrooms do have dispensaries, but that you had to pay for it. And that by the way,
Okay.
this we're talking about free right now. The government has said to be free for everybody. So, but the question is, all along, if there was a dispensary in a washroom, women had to pay for it. But now apparently men are going to get it free. Go ahead.
Wendy says, this shows we have too many people working in the public service for the government to come up with insane ideas like this.
Very true.
All right, to Liz on Facebook. No, it's normally the basics that are supplied. Regular tampon and or a basic pad.
Yeah, but that's maybe the situation now. But if we're so concerned about equity, you can be, and I'm going to tell you very soon, if they provide just sort of the basic, you can be sure that some of these people, these radicals, are going to claim, hey, wait a minute, I don't use a pad, I have to have a tampon. So you're going to have two dispensaries. And then they're going to say, well, yeah, but that's not my size. You don't think that's going to happen? Listen, if there's been so much agitation, we got to put it in men's. You don't think there's going to be agitation to make sure that everybody, all sizes and different styles are accommodated? Of course. It's a different world, folks, a different world. Go ahead, John.
David is seeking clarity. He says, is it a 10,000 word or a 10,000 page document? Because apparently we've said both. He says, when I tell someone I want to have my facts straight.
I don't think I've said both, but if I did, I apologize. It's a 10,000 plus word report authored by 4 government departments: Employment and Social Development, Indigenous Services. Why would Indigenous Services be involved with this? Natural Resources and Transport.
None of those departments make any sense. Natural Resources maybe, but only in an ironic kind of way. This person texts to say, I cannot believe the topic of today's show. I am dying of laughter, but I know it's no joking matter. Great entertainment, better than Geraldo. Let's go back to email. Paul says, hi, Lowell. The Oakville teacher with the prosthetic chest may be in favor of the plan for men's bathrooms, and the teacher may have a great career ahead. After all, there once was a teacher in BC who dressed up in a turban and blackface, and he became our prime minister. Are we still on planet Earth? Paul in Canada.
That's a very good question. Are we on planet Earth, or have we all fallen down the rabbit hole? You know what? If you start to see a Mad Hatter around, be very suspicious. Go ahead.
Over to Richard. And just to think that here I sit brokenhearted.
No, let's not get it. Let's not get stupid, okay? Please.
All right.
Okay.
And says, what sickens me is that this is funded, yet diabetics have to pay for their own needles and insulin, and men have to pay for their own prostate blood tests.
Very true. Very true.
Corey, what are people doing in the bathrooms? You're there for one reason only. We read that. Let me see. Let's skip ahead to Wendy. This shows we have too many people working in public service. No, we did that already too. Sorry, I think my page skipped ahead here. Last time I checked, there were no such thing as male tampons, this person says. Corlin says, are they going to install urinals in the women's washrooms? Now, there's a great question.
That's probably next.
There's the simple answer. I mean, you're not wrong.
Let me ask you, John. I get the idea that there's not that many comments.
No, really there are. There are lots of comments. I'm just my page is skipping all over the place here as I try and cut and paste all the comments and make some semblance of order of it.
Let's hear some more then.
Inclusion is fine, but why is it on the foot of the taxpayers? Surely there are private businesses who would love the publicity of being involved with something such as this. Clearly, bathroom equity is more important to Trudeau than healthcare equity or equality, cost of living, etc.
Well, that's a very good point. The premiers, as you know, unanimously are demanding more government money for healthcare. The federal government only contributes 22%. There was a time when it was up to, I think, 36%, but it's now dropped down to only 22% of the total bill for healthcare is covered by the federal government. The provinces say, we've got to have more than that. So Trudeau says, no more for healthcare, but we've got 116 million for male tampons. Go ahead.
Eric suggests he is distracting us from something again. It's kind of like when Facebook starts doing something wonky, there's changes afoot.
Well, there's another story that's out there, and I'm sure that it will be totally ignored. And that is that it's been discovered that the Trudeau family spends $1,000 a month on bottled water. As you know, plastic straws are outlawed, but at the Trudeau
plastic
household,
bottles, yeah,
there's $1,000 worth of plastic bottles that we pay for every month. Beautiful. The hypocrisy of this guy, this government, is astonishing. Go ahead.
No, says James.
Okay.
Corey asks, what if I do not menstruate? Can I bring the extras home and donate them back to the community?
Well, of course. Of course. I mean, who's to say that you can't go in and take them all and go out and sell them? Be a nice little business. Go into all the men's washrooms, remove all of the tampons and pads, and take them out on the street and sell them. Go ahead.
Lisa says, I'm so sick and tired of Trudeau and his band of idiots trying to change everything for his ideology. Enough is enough. If he's so passionate about gender equality, why doesn't he find these stupid ideas? I don't know. Lynn says they'd be awfully tiny. I know, not funny, but if you don't laugh, you'll cry. Yeah. I guess this means the women can use the men's washrooms, but not vice versa, suggests Ray. Drama class. Please tell me Trudeau wasn't teaching it. No, Trudeau was not my drama teacher, I promise you. In fact, Trudeau and I are right around the same age. So we wouldn't even class
Did you
together.
ever wear blackface?
Not once, not ever, nor will I.
Okay.
I believe I did Goldface once. I was trying to be C-3PO for Halloween one year.
Goldfinger.
Elvin says, Lowell, you assume the bottles are plastic. Could be fancy glass bottles because carbon footprint on single-use glass bottles is so minuscule. Laughing out loud.
I don't think. Can you buy bottled water in glass? I don't think so. It's all plastic. Go ahead.
Probably at Elite R Us, but I'm not a member there. I don't know.
Oh, God.
Sandy says, honestly, every day gets more insane. Can we please have him impeached? And nobody in his inner circle has the balls to tell him to stop the spending madness. Trudeau has two clues. One's out looking for the other. Over to Twitch.
I haven't heard that one before. That's good.
Yeah, Trudeau has two clues. One is out looking for the other. That's good. Terry says, this effing government has gone completely mad. How in the hell can we get rid of these idiots now? Eric, $116 million plus ongoing interest for how long? Okay, just take the gender signs off the washrooms and all will be okay, says Carl. Just think, this is the future of our poor country. There's another comment on Facebook.
Well, let me ask people. Gender neutral. Okay, I understand we've got that, but what do you think of men going into a washroom where your daughter is like, you approve that?
No.
You have no problem with that? I sure do, but apparently I'm not woke enough. Go ahead, John.
They were leaving a basket of different hygiene products on the counters. Whether people will take one or enough for the month, I don't know.
No, these have to be special, not only dispensaries, but also in every stall has got to be a receptacle to put them, okay? And not just in every washroom, but in every stall. Imagine the cost of that. Particularly, don't forget, these will be government workers, making what, $150 an hour, whatever the hell they make. Go ahead.
We are just a little over time. Let's squeeze in just a couple of last minute comments. Menstrual cups, says Christine, are $25 to $75 each. God help the man if I'm in a women's washroom, says Colleen. And where was this comment? You can buy Perrier in glass bottles. Perrier comes in glass bottles. There you go. Lots of leftovers, Lowell. I will make sure to get those to you so you got some fun.
Thank you all, folks. Have a good weekend. Back again on Monday.
The Lowell Green Show is seen and heard live around the world at 2 p.m. Eastern. Connect with us online at blasttheradio.com/Lowell Green. Can't join us live? Download the Lowell Green podcast. Available on Apple, Spotify, Google, and more. Ask your smart speaker to play the Lowell Green podcast. This is a production of blasttheradio.com.